And she makes it.
Yeah, she makes it. Damn her.
29. 4 points of damage. The Aurochs are freaking out. See which way they go. That is this way. It's number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's down this way.
Put on the Benny Hill music for this.
Number 3 goes this way. Milling about. And number 4 also goes this way.
Do they hurt each other?
They do, but not significantly enough to impact the entire herd.
Okay.
This archer is going to just stab you with a spear. Not the horse. Actually, he can't because you're out of reach. He's going to shoot you. And miss. You may take your attack if you want to.
I am, yes. I shall, even. Ow!
This guy's on the
For an
other end of
additional
the world.
6 damage.
Okay, 17. You will run. He's quick at least. Attacks.
Well, we have the attack with the piranhas.
Against the horse, that is enough to kill the horse.
Wonderful. She can try to not take damage.
Let's see. Right check. She makes it.
Then he has to keep flying or fall on his butt. He doesn't want to do that. Fly over here. And, well... I'm not great at melee. Instead, I'll just take another move action to like move over here. Yeah. Oh wait, no, I don't want to do that. I want to redirect the weapon instead. Let's put it on that girl.
Okay. The sign of Piranhas Tyraxis.
Well, let's continuing to bite the archer here.
Okay, you do then need to move your speed or make a hover check.
What's the DC for the hover?
Hover is 15.
Okay, I'll try to hover. Do it! Yes!
You make it.
I fly and I munch
That is a hit.
for an additional 6 lightning. That's 18 in total.
He is down.
Good.
Let's see. She has a hard time using her lance without a horse. So she will just poke Einavox again. 9 points of damage. Then she won't do much more. The question is, can you charge with a lance without a horse?
Give me on foot.
I would say no.
I don't think so. I think you need to be mounted.
That's impossible.
Okay, you can charge, but you don't deal double damage.
How would you run with a long stick without no form of? You're muted, Manikai.
A lance is two-handed, but not used mounted, so that's as well as a thing.
Okay, then she will charge her Volnix with her lance, swinging it like an axe, which looks very awkward.
So how you use a lance, lady?
That and that. And she hits
God, this is good.
the blunt side of the lance. She is quite clearly improvising here. Volnix.
How can you give 10 damage with improvised weapon?
Well, she isn't using an improvised weapon, but she is improvising with a weapon that she's very good at.
Well, She's not very good at swinging it like an axe.
No, otherwise she would deal far more damage.
It works like a long spear, basically. When it's not used as lance. I
Oh,
mean, that's
she-
basically what a lance is.
Yeah, it does have reach. So she should be Avonix. DDS?
He needed to answer the phone.
Phone call.
Okay, then,
You can delay.
yeah, Inox.
Oh, she'll full attack her.
Okay.
The poison claws and all that.
That's the bite hits. Let's roll the fortitude save. She makes it.
She just have the most gross face. I would really appreciate if you never use this token again.
It's not
It's
that bad.
it's tattoos and
It's shining tattoos.
But why
Yeah.
is it in her hair?
her hairs are just sandy and also tattooed.
It looks like she has turning into stone. It's really gross.
I think she has like things like entwined into her hair.
But it's part of her face.
No, it's like the same. It's like copper. Like copper has turned greenish. That's just like entwined into her hair. And
It looks
just-
gross.
and
I'm
then just
sorry.
painted her
It,
face.
it looks like she has barnacles living on her face.
Just don't look at her too closely.
I'm trying, but I'm fighting her.
Okay, these Aurochs are getting very close to both the Wild Lancer and Inovox. Both of you take 19 points of Stampede damage. These go like so, crashing into each other. Number 2 is over here. They go this way. And the others really don't matter at this point. They go this way. They go 8, 7, 6 this way. This guy will keep running to eventually be relevant. He'll go here. Attacks.
Well, I have a thing to roll, which I will do. Smack. I've been rolling very well with this today.
Oh yeah, that's it for 9 points.
And, well,
Oops.
then he will fly over here. Well, he will cast a spell, then move and try to deliver it.
Okay.
Okay? And that requires a touch attack, which I don't honestly have. But I guess it's just the same as my claw, right?
I'll just change her token for Tina. There we go.
Thank you.
Wait, what? Why the token changing? What's happening?
Because Tina didn't like the old one.
Because I have a fear of patterns. I'm sorry. I'm not proud.
I'll
I have a fear of barnacles.
just do a melee attack and just disregard the damage. It's against touch.
That's a fumble.
Fumble. Okay, I'll hold the charge then. Alright.
Yeah, you would have to go down to 15 feet to hit with your bite.
Oh, well,
You're trying to bite me?
I don't want that. Then they can hit me.
The Aurochs could indeed hit you because they are rather large.
You know,
Quite
I'll
literally large.
divert my movement then. I can't divert my movement? No, apparently not. Well, I was like 60 this way. Then instead, I would have tried to do it to someone who is up far enough. I guess I would have moved over here or something.
Okay.
Less useful. But...
Terexus. There's a horse in front of you.
That's probably fine.
The horse takes its attack.
Oh, sure.
Actually, it can't. It doesn't have reach.
Bye,
Remember,
horse.
this is the last turn. You have the blessing as well. So
Okay. Well, I'm gonna flap over here, and we'll take the bonus 2 to hit with the blessing. Actually, can I take the bonus attack and get a second bite? I can, right?
Only on a full round action.
Ah.
Full round attack.
Can I full round attack up here? No, I can't because I moved.
You moved.
Okay. Well, let's take the bonus 2 to hit. It's +1, +2,
Plus 2.
+2. Okay. And also we're flanking. Gonna be very surprised if I miss this. Ow!
You do not miss.
Additional 4.
14 points. She will continue attacking the only target available to her, which is Einavox. Swinging her lance. And hit for another
No,
10 points.
that's a miss, because it's still this round, so I have +2 AC.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's a miss.
It's
This
in my
one-
label.
This one over here will swing at Avonix. $21
Better.
again. That's a miss. Avonix.
Is he back yet?
He just said something, so I assume.
Dark? Are you having internet problems?
I did
Yes,
just
that
hear
works.
him, and he is attacking, so 8 points of damage. The first claw hits. Einavox.
Well, she's gonna full round attack that woman. Still, her claws covered in poison.
Yeah. That is enough to down her.
And 5-foot step. Down here.
The Aurochs still going absolutely nuts. That is 7 is this way. Einavox is still in reach of the Aurochs, meaning you take another 15 points of Stampede damage. Which is then these Aurochs who move here. These Aurochs move this way. These Aurochs move 1, 2, 3 this way. These ones move into the others, creating a maelstrom of Aurochs. And this guy. Who are you? You're not nauseated. Great. I mean, the best course of action would be to make sure that this one doesn't stand up again. So he will charge you with his Earthbreaker. And hit you for 13 points. Almost a crit. This guy's dead. Attacks.
Oh. Well, he's holding a charge here. So he assumes that that guy will be so hard to hit. We'll move like over here and then go down to like 15. It's a thing. And then try to deliver it. Still won't be an actual bite. He wants to go for touch.
Okay. That is a hit.
Gentle kiss on the forehead.
Okay.
It is touch of bloodletting. He is injured.
Gets a will save.
He gets a will save. Alright.
It's one of those sucky spells that gives both the save and...
He fails.
Good. Wonderful.
1 point of bleed and exhausted,
Yeah, for the duration of the spell.
which is long. Okay.
Just 6 rounds. Also, blessing is gone.
Exhausted Terexus.
Also, I have this thing. Attack still.
It's attacking her. That is a hit. 9 points. Terexus. Flying dangerously close over a herd of rampaging Aurochs.
Oh yeah, I am.
No, it's gonna flap over here. And try to bite Thunderfang Crusher. Who is an excellent wrestling name.
Now entering the Thunderfang Crusher.
Whoa!
Oh no.
That's it.
Thunder.
That made me want to play Guitar Hero.
You did move less than half your speed. So that would be a DC 10 flight check or lose. Okay, never mind. Tyraxus is pretty good at maneuvering, apparently.
Blue dragons are very good at maneuvering.
Yeah, that. I mean, how high? What kind of roll was that?
It's an 18.
Okay. I'm trying to size it compared to my bonus. I'm slightly better than you, only slightly.
She will swing her lance again. 2 and attack. Hit for 10 points. Avonix. Although she would have had to 5-foot step back because reach.
Yep. So she hit me there. So I assume that's not magical, right?
No,
Magic?
it's not.
I would take that pinprick. I will keep following her. And I would try to maul her. It seems fair. She just stabbed me. Just because I want this to end quickly. That one. So 2d6.
That is enough to down her. Not even going to bother to calculate the damage.
I mean, I don't know what AC was, so I can't work it out.
Inavox gets to roll a save, okay. The Aurochs going at it again. 3, 1, 2, 3, this way.
That's scary.
Let's
Don't go south, don't go south.
see, this horde, 1, 2, 3, 4, they are going south.
I knew it.
That, I mean, Avonix is most definitely in range.
Like
So what happens?
Tyraxus and Rakax sort of looking down, Avolix disappearing. It's like, oh.
You take 15 points of Stampede damage.
I
Does it
think
count as
you're gonna
magical?
take some.
What about Inavox? Doesn't she get a attack as well?
I can't see her. Yes, she would as well.
Doesn't it count as magical?
It does not count as magical.
15 damage.
15, yes.
Which is going to kill her.
Well, I'm dead.
Stampeded by Aurochs. This guy will attack none of you because he can't. So he will go down. No, there's Aurochs there. That's terrible. He will withdraw. You do not get your attack since you are essentially only in
Can
reach with your
exhausted
bites.
people move at their full speed?
That is true. He could
Exhausted
only
people
move
move at half speed.
It would be 50 then. So here. Attacks.
Well, redirect the attack at him. And follow him over here to threaten him again. He also needs to take his bleed.
He does need to take his bleed.
Also, the weapon is gone now, so...
Okay. What was the last macro against?
That's him.
Him as well, okay. Well, he can only have one aura at a time, though. Tyraxus.
Yes. Flap, flap, flap.
That is enough to hit at least.
Mm-hmm.
She is down. Avonix.
Well, can I fly out of the... here?
Yes, yes you can.
No, they only didn't kill Mufasa, they also killed Inavox.
Yeah.
Well...
Is any of you gonna be traumatized after this?
Nope.
Gotta get you back.
Are we gonna make a
Avolix
song?
like, nope.
Such a bitch.
And admittedly, you like threw pillows at Adam.
A
It's
what?
time to start singing Hakuna Matata.
Right, you made him give up that comfy pillow he got.
It's true.
She
that-
never did that.
Oh, our
Also, I'm
Volux
charging
holds
you.
a grudge. Never
Okay.
forgets, never forgives.
That's his motive.
And since I am
Motto.
charging, I will charge slightly upwards.
You can't
Put myself-
technically do that since you always have to
No.
charge to the closest
I
square.
guess that'd be nearest square. Yes, I suppose. Fine. Actually, no, in that case, I will just normal fly to there. Fly upwards. Which I can do. So I don't get charged. Remove that. I don't have 2d6 because I might use my aura. And fight.
That is a hit. He is barely standing. It's Orok time again.
That's the worst time.
Oh yeah, this way.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Dangerously close.
Like so, that's just enough. These guys are going this way though. Okay, Avolnix. You take 12 points of Stampede damage.
Does it count as magical?
It does not.
Thunderfang Crusher, his day is pretty bad as well. He's flanked by dragons and a Stampede is chasing him down.
Oh yeah, he's actually in range of the Stampede as well, which means he gets completely trampled.
Oh, well, there we go.
The others, I don't think are relevant since all your enemies are dead. Combat is over, assuming that you do...
Did we get the guy who I knocked off the horse and left up there?
Yeah, he ran over. That was the guy you were fighting.
Okay.
Combat is over. The Oroks are going to continue rampaging around, although they are easy enough to dodge, as they are not going straight for you.
Actually, try to retrieve Einavox.
The mangled remains of Einavox.
Einavox is very much dead. The remains are there, but it does not look very pleasant.
Traxxas looks down at them. Well, that put a bit of a damper on the plans, doesn't it?
Yeah. She didn't have enough dragon points to.
There's a lot of dragon points to save stuff, like 8 dragon points.
Yeah. Not even halfway there.
No, I'll have 5.
Because you need 4 to get 1 hero point, then
That's
another 4
3.
to get another second one.
I forgot to count some, but
I mean, I only have 2 dragon points, so just saying.
Well, what do we do? We found the Aurochs and we could lead them to the camp, I guess, but
we're a little down in fighting force.
we are. But this would mean we would need to take the body back to Moonhide and hope that he knows the spells required to bring it back.
Maybe we
And
could try
then-
someone in the city of Camarga. Ring.
How
Well,
would you
technically closer to
suggest-
Vincent than we are.
Who would there be willing to bring back dragons?
Indeed.
Well, if we could acquire the scroll to do such a thing, I could probably.
Do they just sell those things?
I imagine you could buy them at request.
Perhaps.
So they have a stock, but Vincent should be quite able to.
Is he? He has never struck me as a spellcaster.
No, all he needs to do is buy the thing.
Remember how long it took us last time to get Vincent?
We don't even know where he is.
Camarga would be quite a lot faster. If a scroll won't work, then I don't know how.
Well, Moonhide is the obvious answer. Hopefully he knows.
Well, I suppose we'll have to go through with the attack then.
Once either that or we fly back to Moonhide, do the required things and come back here a couple of days later. Looks at the orcs.
Do you think it'll be so quick?
drugs, I don't know how long it would take.
I suppose we'll have to do that then.
It's either that, or as you say, we go through with the attack.
Well, if I'd rather have everyone with us.
Then we don't have much of a choice, do we?
No, we really don't.
Well, I guess we collect the remains,
Take the arduous task back home. Yep.
put them in a bag, and shift the burden as we fly between me and our Volniks, probably. Since we're most likely the best and the strongest flyers.
I mean, yeah. I'm a slightly stronger flyer than you, and we're both quite strong ourselves, so...
Yeah.
Maybe Lady Ashwood could do this sort of thing?
She would probably ask something hideous from us.
So, yeah. But I don't think Moonhigh can.
Isn't
we
Lady
beat
Ashwood...
him up. That means he
Also,
can't.
isn't Lady Ashwood like asleep now?
Maybe.
She is, probably, yeah. I mean, Moonhide is the only option, right? Like,
But we beat him up.
you beat
Can't do
Moonhide
that.
up. Well, you don't know. Maybe he is upgraded.
I guess. Seems like a... Alright, sure. Just doesn't seem like the best kind of entrance to come back empty-handed and with one of us dead.
I mean, if you want to try to go to Kermagar, sure, but I can't go into the city. Like, I'm a dragon.
Mm.
Avonix will look at our access and Requirix, they mentioned this.
Draxus will look back at our Volniks. He knows the secret.
Have you been looking at his hoard?
No. Who would do that?
If getting into the city is so much of an issue, there is ways in. It's just tasteful as they are. Well, much in the same... You understand Einavox somehow developed such a strange gift for doing so, for becoming the Smoothskins.
Yes.
To my bitter dismay, I seem to have found such an ability as well.
If only we had known that sooner.
It was a recent ability.
I see.
I discovered it during the deep winter months.
Well, you could go into Kermagar then and see if you can find some sort of temple and ask to purchase such a service. Is there a nice god who also happens to have blind priests?
Not that I know of. The most likely candidate would be one of the less scrupulous temples, I imagine.
I'm afraid I am not too familiar with their religions.
Yeah. Tyraxus shakes his head. Neither am I, I'm afraid. He looks at Rakaiax.
Sure, I guess we could try what kind of temples would there be in Kermagar from which we could buy
Or try and request.
resurrection magic.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, you want to know which temples in Kermagar might be willing to do resurrection magics for us. I don't know which one of those you need, but there you go.
You don't really know much about Kermagar at all, and knowing of a religion that would willingly resurrect a dragon, a chromatic one at that, would either come with an incredibly steep price or just be rejected.
Seems Moonhide is the option then.
You quickly see Avonix just kind of move around and kind of like twitch his head slightly, looking around.
You can't do that sort of magic, though.
We don't know.
Sheep,
Yes?
which direction was it?
It's on your map.
I don't see it on my map.
You should see it. Let me try that. I'll just make it visible. There you go.
And we are down here.
You are currently right here where the token is.
Yes, okay. Ron, I think suddenly just his head kind of twitching and looking towards, I guess that'd be the northwest.
I suppose then there's no real way to do it. Not yet, at least. Maybe we could find ways to store her for now in a workable manner.
I am unsure if this would exactly help, but I have, since we've got to the Cinderlands, felt quite a powerful feeling. Something.
It's the sun, Arvolnix.
No.
That is really nice for you and all, but we are in a bit of a predicament here. And it would be nice if you told us all these things before we made our move.
I am unsure what I'm feeling. It's just this almost just draw of power somewhere nearby.
And is it from the camp?
It's not from any of the camps we've been told of. I would judge between the Beast Wranglers and the Outsiders. There is something located between their camps.
Well, what?
I can't say. Just I can feel the power.
So let's not go there then. Could be
Pardon?
the Red Dragon or the Gold Dragon even.
I doubt they would give such a attractive feeling.
Why can only you feel it?
If I knew the answer to that, I'd also like to know what it was.
Frowns at him. There seems to be much you haven't told us.
It's all recent developments.
Director sniffs and says he rarely speaks to anyone, Rakayax. He's always holed up in his igloo.
Looks at him, thinking of what sort of plans he has made, what deals with the enemy.
But with such a feeling of power, I suppose there is a minor chance, though I have no evidence to base this off. Maybe with such a feeling, a draw of power, there might be something there that might help us. Or maybe it's a wild goose chase. But could it hurt to check, since we've already lost her?
Traxxas looks around. I would prefer that we exhaust the ways we have first, before we go on to things that you merely feel and cannot describe further.
Moonseer Moonhigh does not even speak to the spirits. I've spoken to him at length yesterday night. Well, a few days ago, I suppose. He has little power. Mostly just he knows about history of the cave. He's read the scrolls in there, but as for magic, he can do very little.
Alright, then I'm gonna turn to the GM. Sheep, would Moonhide be able to resurrect Avolix, do we think, from what we know of him?
Maybe also Volnix after we kill
Not
him.
Well, maybe.
Not by himself, no.
What does that mean? Is it possible to do it in the camp or not?
Well, if you went to him and asked him, he wouldn't know a way.
He would not.
He would not know a way.
Okay. Then it is certainly a predicament.
I mean, do we just salt her corpse and put her somewhere and
Pickle her? Like you like pickles,
wait
right?
until someday we might be able to do something?
I mean, the issue is
How do we keep... do you have like... I don't suppose you have the... Like, keep a body fresh spell?
No, I don't.
She's not
It
gonna
does
last.
need to be fresh, though. I mean, just as long as a part of it remains for like a year.
Well, if we're gonna spring for like true resurrection, sure. That would only need like a fraction or something of her, but it would be nice with raised dead, because that's like level 4 or something, and it's kinda manageable. Yeah, it's kinda manageable to get a hold of, though, right?
Get it at level 8, 9, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So Just maybe like 8 sessions. 12 months.
I'm going to note technically stuff like raise dead. Those I'm going to note that stops working after they've been dead longer than a week.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I don't even think we have enough money for raised dead, honestly.
Unless we have
like 5,000 gold.
Yeah, I don't have 5,000 gold.
No.
Does Einavox have 5,000 gold?
Probably not.
So basically, that's it then.
I will say completely, out of character from a god's perspective, there are ways I have considered to make resurrection possible, and they are in place. I just don't want it to be trivial. I don't want you to buy a scroll and done. There are ways.
We just don't know them.
Yes.
I don't know if... Directors wouldn't know about resurrection magics, but me as a player know that yes, we need to keep this body fresh. If
Volnix has a hunch, then we might as well follow that, honestly.
Yes.
Because, well, what else do we have to do?
We can hook up with the cult of the dragon and turn her into a Dracolich. She would appreciate that, I'm sure.
They can make zombies and skeletons, but nothing independent. Besides, I think most of such creatures want to be able to grow big first. Since they can't hardly grow afterwards.
Yeah, Volnix will be rather insistent that
the tiniest Dracolich.
He thinks he can feel a great source of power, and maybe it can help us. He feels like it can.
Perhaps the outside.
Director snaps around, looking at Volnix. You feel like it can help us. What do you mean?
It's difficult to describe.
At this point, you should be able to trust us somewhat. I mean, we have been together for this long.
I wish it was easy to describe, but the way it's a nice fresh breeze of power moving through. Almost these whispers of something I cannot work out what it is, but.
We did hear that a large graveyard of whites was out there somewhere where they were forced to fly through the desert and all fell to the ground, died from the heat. That could be it, perhaps, since you're the only one feeling it.
But how would a graveyard benefit us?
Perhaps they had something with them. Perhaps they had brought something they thought could help prevent it. I don't know, but it looks at us. We are young, and we still carry much with us.
I do not.
Maybe something we could use to bargain, or.
I have seen corpses of whites before. I do not simply react. For no reason. There must be something there.
Well, probably there is, but it seems like certainly a bit of a leap of faith to assume that such a wellspring of immense power would come to our aid readily. In my experience, power seems to be
near the outsider as well. Perhaps she would have something to do with it. She might be the person I would want to approach about this sort of affair, since she's not really involved with anything and wants, well, as to her words, peace. Perhaps she would not be being an outsider in this land as well.
Directus nods. Yes, perhaps that is reasonable to assume.
Moving away from the camp here, we can't defeat it with just us. We will need us at our full strength. Perhaps this is doomed to fail in the end, but if this all fails, we can flee north. There's lands further away from Sunta. Regardless, looking at whatever this might be that Volnix is feeling, maybe it can help us, maybe it won't, but it will be close to the outsider regardless.
Sure. Yeah, we don't have much else.
Besides, there was also going to be a dragon temple up here somewhere. Maybe that has some clues as to...
I thought that was somehow hidden inside the rise.
Oh, I see. Well.
Unless you know something I don't.
I have a tendency to divulge any information I learn.
Very well. We fly north.
certainly do so. The aurochs spreading and quickly disappearing into every which way. Although they do seem to be eventually collecting themselves again and forgetting the entire ordeal. An ordeal that you can't probably quite forget as easily. You fly north, a Volnix leading you into a peculiar direction, and you can certainly move yourself on the map.
We had 3 moves left for the day. Can we use those
Yes, yes.
two?
Since you're moving essentially at noon until the evening, I would also ask for 2 more fortitude saves, as you're still in the center of these
I
hinterlands.
don't have my token.
It's still on the Auroch map.
Where's the org map? It's all
Oh,
over there. All right.
it's. I can move.
I found it. It was.
I'll move your tokens regardless. I'll also save Inox. Oop.
And 2.
If you have a grand total of 2 failures today, you will be fatigued the next day.
There we go.
It's
One
fine.
One does not have a permanent. One does not have an effect that carries over.
Well, for the next day then, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That would be another 3 fortitude saves. That's all successes. All successes. Okay. You are not fatigued.
Stir the dragons.
I only have a +6. There's like a 50% chance of me failing.
As I will do a very quick toilet break, as I've been drinking way too much Coke, and then we'll come back.
And that really threw a wrench in our plans.
Yes. Yes,
It did for original plans.
Not as easy as making a new character because we're dragons.
Stampeded to
So-
death.
I must say that is a new one to add to my book of character deaths. I've never seen a character stampeded to death.
Yeah. Well, let's see what your mysterious feeling is feeling.
I mean, I wish I knew what the feeling was. I don't.
Conveniently arriving now.
Mm-hmm. That is all
No.
very convenient
Maybe
Maybe he's
for
just
some
only
reason.
telling us now.
Yeah,
no,
that's
no,
what I
yeah,
think.
Alvonix will fully admit he felt it the moment he entered the Cinderlands.
There's amazing power here. We could have wielded it, but I wanted it all for myself.
Exactly.
He thought basically you would have this reaction of what the hell are you going to do to take us a wild goose chase?
No.
That's basically the reaction he had.
Now we know not to trust you.
Then why are we even going here if you don't trust me?
Because we have no other choice.
Yeah, we're desperate, and you knew this. You're steering us to our doom. You shall sacrifice us as well, shouldn't you?
Don't worry, Chillaxus. You know, you always have me.
That's right.
Else.
It's gonna be a 2-player campaign. This.
And I am back. As you land to rest in this very sandy and hot place. Even in the evenings, it's still very hot. And there's never really a moment where the heat is comfortable.
It's horrible.
But Avolnix would promise you that it is not far to whatever it is he is feeling. And he is feeling it. The closer he gets, the stronger it becomes.
Does it feel good or bad?
I mean, Alvonix really good.
Do we feel anything?
No.
Uh-huh. Well, next day, plop.
You fly for a couple hours at dawn and see the wasteland of sand and red rocks in the distance. And there really isn't anything that you can see. However, Avolnix manages to essentially find a needle in a stack of needles, as there is one little valley that does have a rather peculiar sight indeed. I will move you to a different location.
Like a needle in a sack of needles.
We are in the Valley of Death.
And what you see here, only barely sticking out of a hill of sand, is the skull of an enormous dragon. The skull itself would be the size of Visakarak, really. If this was an entire skeleton, it would be bigger than anything you've ever thought possible. And peculiarly, oddly enough, you recognize this skull.
What?
As it is the exact petrified skull that you've seen in what you assume to have been your dreams.
Oh.
Well, that's interesting.
Avonix knows that this is the skull of a white dragon, although of a size that just simply doesn't make sense.
Is it Ashwood size?
It would be even bigger.
Oh God.
This is beyond anything we thought dragons could get to.
This is like the first white dragon to spring from like Apsu and Tiamat size, like, and it's basically an antediluvian dragon.
Well, I wasn't completely wrong. Tries to estimate how hard it would be to make that into a bloody skeleton.
You're missing a body.
Yes, the skull would suffice, honestly.
Well, you can make it beheaded.
Yeah, beheaded, flying head that bites,
Super dragon. Yeah.
shoots laser out of its eyes.
No, they actually bite.
And as you get closer between the waves of hot breezes, there are also those of just icy cold. Most likely originating from just this exact place.
Ah, pleasant.
The skull's maw is open and does seem to lead into some sort of underground structure.
Oh, great! What could possibly go wrong? Well,
You've already gone through one more of a giant dragon.
Volnix, you're the one leading the charge here.
Yep, I'll lead the charge. I have no issue with that.
Is it going to speak to us? Who
I hope
disturbs
so.
my slumber?
I hope it will speak to us.
No.
I'm kind of excited by this, actually.
Is this your dad, Volnix?
No, I don't think so, at least. I don't think so.
And as you get close enough to look into the maw of this enormous skull, you do see a figure currently coming towards you, really. He is, let me make him visible, most definitely a human, although he is missing both an arm and one of his eyes. He looks at you with a pleasant surprise, extends one of his arms in a sort of greeting fashion, which looks more than slightly lopsided considering the other arm is not there. As he spots Volnix, smiles widely and says, "I didn't expect any visitors. How interesting." As he steps out of the skull.
Looks at him stepping through the skull to taste, with a bit of distaste in his mouth.
Although I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. Chances are that you didn't just find this place randomly now, did you?
What would you know about this?
Oh, not as much as I'd like, to be quite honest. I've only been here for a couple of years at this point. I just know that it is far more pleasant in here than it is outside, all this heat. Why don't you come inside? Let us talk inside, yes? And who are those
Every
others?
sense in my body just screams trap about this guy.
And who are those other two you brought? Servants? Playmates? Although you do seem a little bit old for that.
Jirax's will. Gonna
Hunting partners.
Gonna make a will save. I think that makes it.
That's a success.
He does not immediately launch into a fury for being called a servant.
Yes, hunting partners is how I refer to you.
Hunting partners. He considered this and says, well, I suppose if you'd rather stay in this heat, I'd be okay with that, although it is pleasantly cold inside.
I can feel.
It's a nice feeling, isn't it?
Leered at him slightly.
I will go inside.
He raises the eyebrow above his
If
only
I-
good
I'm
eye
allowed
as he
to.
looks at you. Well, if your other hunting partner here thinks it's okay, then certainly. Be my guests.
I'll walk into the mall. Knowing
Sure.
that Sylvaxus and the others probably will show more caution than he does.
Yes.
Was it could have been healed before we got here, I just realised.
You will be probably happy to know that I do not have a map for the inside.
I mean, we had like 2 days of. We had like 2 days between
Yes,
here and
you-
the last
I
night.
didn't expect you to actually do it.
You can be fully healed.
Yep. Because I just realised I was injured. It was like, oh wait. Well,
And the cave entrance very much reminds you of the throat of an enormous beast. And as you head down, you feel the air getting less hot to cold to absolutely icy, to the point where you almost feel numb with the feeling of pins and needles all over you. Avolnix, of course, feels perfectly fine. In fact, this is pretty damn perfect. You other two, you can see your breath basically forming a cloud in front of you, then gently dropping to the ground.
pretty, isn't it?
And the sides of the sandstone throat is completely covered in ice.
How
Yeah,
wide is this? Like tunnel going down?
it's about 20 feet across.
Okay.
It is a narrow way, although perhaps not as narrow as you would assume from a throat. That made no sense, but we'll just skip that. And eventually you reach a larger cave, a sort of hall that seems to have been this person's camp for at least quite some time. From its ceiling, icicles that drip fresh water into pools below that just barely don't manage to ice over. The sides completely frozen, and in the back a tunnel that seems to lead further down the bottom, however it is blocked by a transparent wall of ice. As this person sits down on a what looks to be a bench made out of ice and gestures essentially to the ground in front of him.
Admires the ice structures. It feels like home. It's been so long since I've been anywhere near home.
It does feel like home, doesn't it? Now, you do look quite familiar to me, I have to say. What is your name?
Alex stops for a second, looks at him suspiciously. He doesn't happen to look familiar at all, does he? In reverse.
No, you've never seen this human before.
You have the pleasure of being in the presence of our Volnix.
Huh, not a name I recognize. Although I am being so rude, I should introduce myself first, shouldn't I? My name is Horakus, but I can't shake the feeling that I've seen you before. What was your mother's name?
Peers slightly, very suspiciously. Avorna.
Oh my, now that is a name I do recognize. How small the world is, isn't it?
What do you know?
Oh, I knew your mother quite well. Although, that's probably not the right thing to say. I knew her occasionally, but intensely. He smiles
Leers.
mischievously.
Okay. Quirks an eyebrow.
Tyrax is like, oh my.
Tyrax.
Oh, well.
Abolix is not amused by this.
Well.
Does he know how old we are?
Yes, how old are you exactly?
This is the embarrassing bit for a dragon, because technically we're like 5.
We have the experience of dragons who are quite old.
Oh, that doesn't even mean anything.
Doesn't have to.
Well, suit yourselves. But enough about you. Let's talk about what you want here. You do not simply come to this place for no reason, although you might not yet know the reason. Surely you have an idea, however. There are many things that this place can provide. It is, after all, the resting place of Iralasathir, the first white. His one good eye has a gleam of pride, but perhaps also insanity to it. You're not very talkative, are you?
It is difficult to be very talkative when you meet strange hermits living in skulls of first dragons. You would excuse us if we are somewhat cautious.
And one who claims to have been close to one.
What are you?
You are not human, clearly.
A white, perhaps?
Oh, you are quite observant, aren't you? Of course I'm not a human. Would I live in such a place if I was? No, I'm of course deceiving you, and even deceiving myself in some form or another. Look at my state of being, missing an arm and an eye. I can see myself on these icy surfaces and see this pathetic human and laugh at it. If I were to see myself in my true form, I would... He stops. It does not matter, but I do think that at least me and little Volnix here are quite similar. Perhaps not in ambition, but certainly in circumstance. Victims of betrayal, and perhaps looking for at least some sort of revenge.
You know nothing about me.
Oh, I know enough about you that I don't think coincidences exist. You've certainly not just found this place. Some sort of force or other thing has led you here, for reasons I cannot even fathom. But reasons there are.
We came here seeking a means to resurrect a friend who has fallen in battle.
Now that's what I'm talking about. You see, coincidences are just life's way of saying that you don't yet know enough. Resurrection is what I seek as well, but not to regain a lost friend or anything, but rather to, well, show those family of mine what I think of them. But that said, this place does hold power. Much of it.
That was obvious.
I do think that I could provide you with what you seek. For a price, of course. But that price does depend on what you're doing here. Not here in this location, but rather here in the Cinderlands.
I want to quickly peer over to Rakayax and Taraxis for a second.
There is a power rising in the east. A so-called empress who professes to rule over dragons. We seek to oppose her.
Oppose her? I thought you were... I guess you're not. You have no reason to lie to me after all. That is rather strange. I had hoped that you had some sort of relationship with her, that you were perhaps her minions, but then she wouldn't really have sent you to recover one of her pets. I do not think she would care enough to make the bargain that I have in mind. If you are going to oppose Sunta, then it might very well be possible that you come across a possession of hers. Wouldn't it?
Yes.
That will be my price then.
For your aid in our fighting.
Oh no, I have no reason to fight this particular fight quite yet.
What are you going to do with it?
Oh, that is very much my concern. I will not use it for its original purpose, to say the least, no, but I will use it to bring back to this world what should not have left it. And, in turn, get proper revenge on those who exiled me. If you have one you have lost who you wish back, then I can perhaps convince this place to do just that. However, just a warning. This place will leave its traces.
Explain. Traces.
Taraxis gets the overwhelming feeling that he just wants to leave now. He's gonna back off a little bit.
I still want to animate it.
I have just told you what this place is, and I've just told you that I would use its power to bring back your friend. There's a price more than what I ask of you, because it will also ask something of you. Or perhaps not of you particularly, but rather the person who you wish to bring back.
Would it be permanent?
Oh, most definitely.
I suppose it's better than being dead. But
it is the kind of price that perhaps you will never notice, or perhaps it will change your life, your friend's new life.
there might be a better way somewhere else.
I have studied the topic of resurrection rather intensely. You see, dragon souls are far different from the humanoids, because our god actually cares, which does make it far more difficult to cheat death.
So, what is this item you want to return from Sunta?
You don't need to tell us. I think we know what it is if we think about it.
Traxxas
He looks,
shoots Rakayak's, you
into
cannot.
Traxxas's eyes.
You can't be serious.
We'll talk about this later, I think.
It is not like you would want to keep possession of that particular item anyways. Usually its wielder experiences the wrath of the rest of all of Dragonkind.
I completely understand what item you're talking of. That is not really a concern. The real concern is, well, the unknown price.
That will not, however, be something that you have to deal with.
It will, indirectly. If it would to turn her into a crazy psychopath, then that would be very unpleasant for us.
It is unlikely to. Well, let us say that if the cold touches you, you will appreciate it. Just as your friend Avolnix here does.
Frowns further.
That doesn't sound like a weakness, or a price at all. That sounds like a boon.
One could see it as that, yes.
Man, I need to go and die a few times as well to get some more elemental resistance.
I could help you with that if you really desire it, but
Uh-huh.
I, for one, would like to remain alive.
Equally here. Though, I must say this place is unlike anything I've felt before.
This creature could be animated, like I did with the flower. Imagine that. Such
You
a
will
thing
not
out of our
ask.
control.
You will
This
not
place
animate
is
this
far
first
beyond
point.
necromancy.
For now, perhaps, but
You will not be animating this place with kayaks.
little indignant says, not yet, surely, but maybe someday I can.
No.
You underestimate me.
Tyraxus makes a shrug and says, well, if you can resurrect Dynavox, I have certainly nothing against it. It is a price that she will have to live with, I suppose. I cannot make the choice for her, but I would imagine that she would prefer to be alive than to be dead.
If not, I suppose it is easy to reverse.
Indeed.
Unless this is some sort of soul bargain with the devil.
Oh, not a devil, let me assure you that much.
But some sort of soul bargain it is, then.
One could argue that it would be, yes. However, it would be a bargain with her, herself.
Why don't you talk to her about it, then?
He blinks with his one good eye.
Tyraxus moves the bloody, mangled sack forward.
If you can resurrect the dead, you can surely speak to them as well.
It would be possible to perhaps get your deceased friend's opinion on this.
Then it is really up to her.
He nods. He'll take a look at the mangled remains, frown a bit. It will take a couple minutes, at least. I would not
Alright.
suggest that you nod off the white linger here too much longer.
Tyraxus nods, agreed, as he leaves. I'm out.
Catch some fresh air and come back in a moment. Amonix, you, however, I would like you to stay.
Of course you would. Though it is more comfortable in here.
Tyraxus looks at Rakayax. That is no doubt the spirit of the Great White itself.
That seems likely, yes.
And he's doing something with Avolnex now.
I don't trust him. He
No.
didn't trust us to tell us of anything.
No. All of this is... I don't like it. He sort of paces back and forth. Like an animal is hearing a sound it doesn't like.
We need to have him prove his loyalty, or at least be ready for when he strikes. Why would he keep these things from us if not to betray us later?
Looks, I don't know. The amount of power in this place is real.
And apparently it is his ally in some way.
A frightening prospect. The spirit of the Great White claimed it knew his mother. I don't like
Rather
that prospect.
intimately, as it turns out.